Welcome to lesson 2.2, part 1. So part 1, we're going to talk about slope-intercept form and how to graph it. And then in the next video, you're going to learn how to find a linear equation with 2 points. Okay, so we're going to start with slope-intercept or y-intercept is 0. So when that happens, you actually have a flat line. So when I have a slope of 0, you can look, that would be y equals 0x minus 4. So 0 times anything is just 0. So then that line ends up being y equals negative 4. Okay? And so we're going to graph that on the line. So when y equals a number, it's a horizontal line. So I'm going to go to negative 4 on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to be a horizontal line. That means 0 slope. Remember, if it's straight up and down, then that means it's a undefined slope. Okay, so when the slope or y-intercept is 0, so when the slope is 0, it's going to be a horizontal line. When the y-intercept is 0, then it's going to be a proportional relationship, which is still linear. So let's flip open. So this is this section for me. It should be on right under there. So m is negative 2 and b is 0. So my equation is y equals negative 2x plus 0, and if I add 0 to anything, that's really just subtracting, or that's really just doesn't happen. So it's just negative 2x, and that is a proportional relationship, which you should remember from last year. So now let's graph that. So the y-intercept is 0, so we're going to graph it on 0 on the y-axis. And then remember, your slope, you're using rise over run. So it's going to be down 2 to the right 1, or up 2 and to the left 1. So down 2 to the right 1 is right there. Down 2 to the right 1. Sorry. It's right here. And if you want to do opposite, you go up and left. Up and left. If you notice, I'm ready to draw my line. So there is my linear line. Okay, so that's my linear equation for y equals negative 2x. It's negative slope, so it's going to be going down, but the y-intercept is 0, so it goes through the origin. Okay, then on this next one, I have m is 0 and b is 3. So my equation is y equals 0x plus 3, but 0 times x is just 0, and 0 plus 3 is just 3, so that's y equals 3. Okay, so when I go to graph that, I'm going to go to 3 on the y-axis, and it's quite literally just going to be a horizontal line. So remember, when the slope is 0, it's a horizontal line. Okay, so then let's go to, all right, I'm given the slope and the y-intercept. So neither are 0. How do I graph it? So remember, our equation is y equals mx plus b. That's what slope-intercept form is. You learned that last year. You should have in 7th grade. So this is kind of a review before we go into more things with linear functions. Okay, so m is 2, b is 1. So m is 2, b is 1. So your equation is y equals 2x plus 1. So on the graph, on the y-intercept, I'm going to graph 1, because that's your y-intercept, where it hits the y-axis. And then your slope is 2, so you're going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Down 2 to the left 1. Okay. And once, you really only need like 1 or 2 points, but if you want to do more, you can, just to make sure you get the straight line. And then here is my linear line. It's a straight line. Okay, so now let's go in there. So m is 1/2, b is -3. So my equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Okay, so I have -3 is the y-intercept, so 1, 2, 3, -3. My slope is 1/2, so remember rise over run, so I'm going to go up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, or down 1 to the left 2. And now that I kind of have an idea of where this line is going, I draw it. It's a straight line because it's a linear equation. It's a straight line. And then, ta-da, we have graphed. Okay, so now this next one, m is -3/4, and b is 2. So my equation is y equals -3/4 x plus 2. So I'm going to start on 2. Now remember, my slope is negative, so it should be going down. It should not be rising. Okay, so then I'm going to go down 3. So 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me make that prettier. Yep. And then we can go up 3 to the right, 1, or to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I can draw my line. So if you're counting the slope, you don't have to physically draw the lines like over 2, down 1. You can just count it and then plot it. That's fine with me, but either or. Okay, so then let's go to rearranging the equation. So this is something we learned in lesson 1.2. That's why I taught you this skill. So what we're going to do is on this equation, we're going to subtract 2x. Remember, we want y by itself. So when I do that, I end up with y equals -2x plus 3. Okay, and now I'm just back to graphing. So 3 is my y-intercept, -2 is my slope, so down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, or up 2 and to the left 1. And once I have a few points, I can just graph it there. Okay, so let's go to that section. So I have 2x plus 3y equals 6. So first things first, I'm going to subtract 2x. So then I have 3y equals -2x plus 6. Then I'm going to divide by 3. So my new equation is y equals -2/3 x plus 2. Because -2 and 3 don't divide evenly, so you're going to leave it as a fraction. 6 divided by 2 is, or 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now I'm going to graph. So 2 is my y-intercept. Then I'm going to go down 2 to the right 3 and up 2 to the left 3. And now I can graph the line. Now, in the next lesson, when we do standard form, you guys are going to learn how to actually graph this, because this is standard form, and how to do it without having to rearrange. But sometimes it's pretty to do standard form, and then sometimes it's not. For example, this first one would be pretty to do standard form, the second one would not be. So you kind of need to know how to do both. It makes your life easier if you know how to do both. So this next one, I'm going to subtract 5x, so then I have 4y equals -5x plus 8, so y is -5/4 x plus 2. Okay, so then I'm going to go to 2, then I'm going to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's pretty much all you can draw on that graph, so then you just have to draw the 2 lines, or draw the line through the 2 points, and boom. So all you really need to graph a linear line is 2 points, but sometimes I like to have more than 2 just to make sure I go through the right points. But yeah, 2 is all you really need. Okay, so let's go to the last section. So now we're given the graph, so we have to reverse engineer this. So we have to find the y-intercept, so you have to find b, and then you have to find your slope. Okay, so b is right there. So what you need to do is find another point that goes through right in an ordered pair. So it goes up 2 and to the right 3. So my slope is up 2 to the right 3. And my slope-intercept form, or my slope, or y-intercept is 2. So then my equation is y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Okay, so when you're given the graph and they want you to write the equation in slope-intercept form, all you have to do is go find the y-intercept and then find the slope. So let's go to the next section. So my y-intercept here is -1. And now I need to find my slope. So I'm going to pick 2 points that hit the graph evenly. So right here and right here, or here and here. And you're just going to count from 1 point. So I'm going up 1 to the right 2. So up 1 to the right 2. So then my equation is y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Okay, ta-da. So then this next one, my b is, oh, sorry, my b is not -1 on that first one. It's +1. Sorry, this one, it's -1. And then m, you got to find another point. So right here and right here. So you can do, I'm going to go down 2 to the right 2. So down 2 to the right 2, that reduces to -1. Okay, so even if you don't find the nearest point, you'll still end up with the same slope. So then y is -1 x minus 1. So then the last one, I go down 1, 2, 3. So my b is -3. And then my slope, I'm going to find another point right here, right here, right here. I go down 1 to the right 2. So m is down 1 to the right 2. Remember, right is positive. So my equation is y equals -1/2 x minus 3. Okay, that's it for lesson 2.2, video 1. Bye.